like 5'7" or under.
An ideal height for you guys?
6 foot at least.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really need tall guys, so I'm a pass because I'm kind of tall. I'm a pass because you're my homie. I can see over you.
It was a rainy Saturday night when I got a call from a woman that I'm actually interested in. And she asked just general questions. Oh, what's your height? What are your hobbies? And of course, I tried to avoid the height question because I'm 5'10", 179 centimeters or 5'10". She said like, oh, so not that tall, in a really disappointing way. And that exactly is where my shock came in and inspiration for this video. First, let's rewind. Back to the Stone Age, where 6-foot humans were more productive. Did the females like men who were taller? No, that's actually not the issue that many people may believe, but there is a more logical reason for the height differences. Now, of course, you could say that it's a survival advantage in some environments, it's a disadvantage in other environments. This is why genes vary so randomly. In every population, there are shorter than average and taller than average individuals. And of course, when the environment changes, whichever a height is a disadvantage will die, leaving offspring. But if it's an advantage, of course, and a disadvantage, it totally depends on the change of the environment. For example, being short requires less energy, less dangerous things for food, and it's easier to hide, and your also acceleration is faster when it comes to, again, hiding from danger. Why women prefer 6 feet men? Now, let's look at it from another standpoint, and unlike some YouTubers, there's a link down below the description of the study that I researched. When it comes to height, the Dutch have an historical advantage, and this is interesting because being 165 centimeters nowadays isn't that high, but that was way above the average in the 16th century and overall in Europe. But Dutchmen are now the tallest people in the world. And talking about the 16th century, at that point the Americans were actually way taller. But having grown at approximately 20 centimeters over the 150 last years, that comes to things like nutrition and particularly the heavy consumption of dairy products and low levels of social inequality. With the provision of high quality and universal healthcare are big factors. And think about this. Throughout the years, the United States did exactly the opposite thing. There was more inequality, less healthy products, high levels of social inequality, and while the US did again the exact opposite, they only grew 6 centimeters in the last 150 years. So of course, girls watching this, if you want to have tall kids, then coming to the Netherlands might be a good idea. Now guys, this study was absolutely immense, but the conclusion is actually very simple. The results suggest that average height women have a higher fertility than compared with both shorter and taller women. And taller men have a higher fertility compared with shorter men. So of course, if a man isn't, is tall enough, it could be for a woman that, okay, maybe he isn't fertile enough, so that could be a thing. But of course, what about today? What about 2022? The present relationship, this is interesting. Because why should average height women and taller men be more reproductively and more successful in this population? Now, taking women first. Okay, one reason why average height women do better than shorter women is of course a sample showed that higher rates of child mortality are linked to shorter women, and of course despite overall being in a low mortality population. Now, overall, we can say that 6-foot men are so preferably the option for women because of our genes, because of how we evolved throughout the years. Of course, in the United States, men have gotten smaller, in the Netherlands, they have gotten taller. And I can't conclude that women liking 6-foot men is just an evolutionary thing. But I would say read the full study to understand the context, because there are other factors included. For example, they only took women where they had children from the age 8 to 20, because they said, and that years after 20, the quality of the cells would decrease, they have children at a young age, etc, etc. But again guys, don't worry, because I think the right woman will look much further than just your height, if she really cares about you.